Hi everyone, welcome to this course AI Programming with Python. My name is Mato Tisi, and today we'll be looking at data types. Specifically, we'll be looking at lists and tuples. Do not forget to put down your questions in the chat box. Let's dive right in. I'll be sharing my screen so that we can move together. So every value in Python belongs to a data type, and we have different types of data in Python. We have the number type, we have the sequence type, where our lists and tuples, which we are going to be discussing today, belong in. So what are lists and tuples? Moving on to the next slide. Lists and tuples are from the sequence data type, and they are ordered because they have index numbers. Every element in a list and in tuples have index numbers. In Python, we start counting from 0, 1, 2, and so on. So it means that the first element in both a list and Python tuples has the index number 0. Then the next element will have the index number 1, and so on. The only difference between the list and the tuple is that the list is mutable. That means elements, you can put more elements, you can remove elements, you can change the position of elements, but the Python tuple is immutable. You can't add more elements after you create them. You can't remove elements. You can't change the position of the elements. You can liken your Python list to a queue of your friends. Supposing the queue has no fast rule, anybody can leave the queue, anybody can join the queue, anybody can swap positions in the queue, then that queue is certainly a Python list. And it's important to note that a Python list is enclosed with square brackets, just as we can see on the slide, while a Python tuple is enclosed with a parenthesis. If your friends queue up and then there is a strict rule on the queue saying that nobody leaves, nobody joins the queue, then that queue has to be a tuple. Let's move on to the next slide. We are going to look at how the index number is used in both the list and tuple to access different elements. Now, looking at my screen, we assign index 2 to the list name A. The number inside is the index number. So we just want to pick out the index number 2 from list A, which is 0, 1, 2, 15. You have 15 here. Now, we use minus 1 to access the last element of every list or every tuple. And it's mostly used when we don't know the number of elements in a particular list or tuple. We represent its index number with -1. So you have A square bracket -1, that gives us 40. The same thing happens here. A square bracket -1, that gives us 40 from this tuple. We also see slicing here. When we slice, we lift a portion of our list or tuple. So here we are going to lift from 0 to 2, 0 to 2. So you have index 0, 5, 10, 15. There you go. And here we're going to lift from 5 to the end, from index number 5 to the end. So you have index number 5, 15, this one, 15 to the end. The same thing happens here. So let's look at how mutable our list is and how immutable our tuple is. On our slide here, we see that when I assigned the index number 2 in this list to 100, when I printed out the list again, I had 100. But when it comes to tuple, when I did that same assignment, I had an error message. And this error message comes up every single time I try to add an element, as I did here, change an element, delete an element, I have an error message. It shows that tuple is immutable. You cannot remove elements from the tuple. You cannot add. You cannot change the positions of elements in the tuple. So you use the tuple to place any fixed data, any data you don't want to tamper with, any data you want to remain exactly as it is. You use the tuple to store them. But once you feel like you want to add elements to your data, that the elements in the data will keep on changing, you should use a list to store them. So in summary, everything we've discussed right now, for the list and tuples, which is our topic, both of them are sequence types, both of them are ordered sequence, both of them can be accessed through index, both of them can be sliced. The list is mutable, the tuple is not mutable. I hope you enjoyed this class. I look forward to seeing you next time.